All right, guys, 3x to the Lex, right back at you with another video. Let's get into it. All right, I'm here today to talk to you guys about the brand new October 2020 software update for the Arcade Gas 43-inch Retro Plus arcade cabinet. All right, now I just received this update in the mail a couple days ago, and I've been wanting to do an update about all the new games that are included. So today's that day. So let's get into it. What you'll notice immediately if you're requesting this update, or if you're ordering this cabinet brand new and you haven't gotten it yet, you should be getting this update with it when you get the cabinet. But they've added two new arcade platforms, and that's Atomic Wave and Naomi. They've added both. Now, between the Naomi platform has about 17 games, and the Atomic Wave platform has about 8 games. Now, of the included games in the each platform, there are some interesting things that have occurred. Essentially, they've removed the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast platform, and they've added it on the Naomi platform. This version of this game on this platform for the Raspberry Pi 4 for this particular system runs a lot better than that Dreamcast version ran. That version was really glitchy on here for some reason. So let's start it up and give it a go now. But you know, this version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 runs a lot better, a whole lot better. That version was like almost unplayable. But this version runs really, really smooth. So you get your normal Naomi booting software sequence, just like you start an arcade machine. You guys know the drill.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. New Age of Heroes. Capcom.
So I'll jump in here right quick.
Gotta get rough. Who will survive?
As you guys can see, this version runs pretty smooth. Even the super moves doesn't make the frame rate drop or anything, or bring it to a crawl. So it runs pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. I'm a big fan of that game. That's definitely one of my all-time greatest fighting games. So it's great to see that on this cabinet running smooth. The House of the Dead 2 is on here. They added that. That's a big one. It runs fairly smooth. There's a little glitching with that one, but it's definitely playable. And it's one of those games where you don't necessarily see. It's one of those games where like having a little bit of slowdown isn't necessarily like a big game killer like it is a fighting game like Marvel vs. Capcom. Another game that I wanted to mention on here is a game that I was not aware of. I'm not sure how to even pronounce this, but I believe it's Asuf Achi or something along those lines. This is a really unique fighting game, and I have not played it before. is very, very, very unique. It kind of reminds me, it's very Japanese, from my understanding. It only came out in Japan. It's very, very, very Guilty Gear-like. It reminds me a lot of Guilty Gear. A little bit of Blaze Blue. Kind of almost like a cross between that, add in a little bit of Persona. So it's a very unique game. Very, very, very good fighting game from what I could see and what I played of it. So it's a unique game and I like it. Very good graphics. So yeah, it's a really good game. It plays really smooth. There's no slowdown, and I'm really satisfied with it. It's one of those games. If you get this, definitely check it out. To be honest, I didn't even see this on my Hyperspin system, so this is really a treat to get this game because I've never played it before, and it's very unique, and I like it a lot. So definitely check that out for sure. Another thing that's on here that's of importance, I would say, Zero Gunner 2's on here. It runs really well. Very, very good shooting game. Also, I would say definitely check out Asian Dynamite. This is basically like Dynamite Cop from Dreamcast era, but slightly different characters and a little bit different plot and adventure throughout the game. It's slightly different, but very similar. Border Down, unfortunately, is not working, and that's a shame because that's definitely one of the great shooters in recent memory. Very, very, very good game. Guilty Gear XX Reload is not working. That's a disappointment. Guilty Gear X is working. Guilty Gear XX is not working. And that's a big disappointment. So hopefully by the time they release the next update, they can get that definitely resolved. Other than that, that's primarily what you get in the Naomi system. Now, to go over to Atomic Wave, you got about 8 games here. Now, all 8 of these games that are included are awesome games. Unfortunately, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum is not working correctly, and neither is Samurai Showdown 6 Tinka. It's not working correctly. And the King of Fighters XI 11 seems to have some issues too. Rumblefish 1 is working perfectly. Rumblefish 2 works great. Great game. Dolphin Blue runs great, and this is an awesome game right here. If you guys haven't played this, definitely check out Dolphin Blue. This is a lot like Metal Slug, and it's pretty much reminds me of like a little bit of Sunset Riders, Metal Slug, Contra. It's along that ilk, but you know, great graphics, fast action. It's an awesome game. So when you get your cabinet, this is definitely one of the standouts, and it runs really smooth. Cool part about it is you ride dolphins and a lot of other vehicles during this game, and it's pretty slick. and I like it. All right, that's Dolphin Blue. It runs great. Now, my favorite game out of all of the games that included in the update is Fist of the North Star. This is a phenomenal fighting game. It came out a little while ago, and I'm really satisfied with it. Awesome fighting game. This is like a Sega and Arc System Works collaboration. Plays great.
Time of retribution. Battle 1. Decide the destiny.
Anyway, that's Fist of the North Star. Great game. Definitely check that out. Metal Slug 6 works great. Great game. As I said before, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum is not working correctly and has issues. Samurai Showdown 6 has issues. King of Fighters has issues. Rumblefish 1 and 2 were great. So definitely check out Rumblefish, Metal Slug 6, Fist of the North Star, and Dolphin Blue. Great games. Now on the arcade classics, they added some titles too, and they definitely fixed Sunset Riders, and that was like a big one because that's like one of my favorite games, and it was not working correctly. So that was like a big bummer to me. So I'm glad to see that they got that fixed. I'll bring it up. Here we go. Great game. If you haven't played Sunset Riders, you're really missing out. It's a great game. One of the greats in my opinion. It's my favorite side-scrolling shooter ever. So definitely check that out. It's a great game. Mystic Warriors and Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa are extremely similar to this game. And if you enjoy Sunset Riders, you will love those two also. Also check out Bucky O'Hare on here. That's a great game too. Also, they made some upgrades to the PlayStation section. And they've now included Bloody Roar 2, which is great because I finally have a Bloody Roar game on this system that matches the theme of my arcade cabinet. But anyway, Bloody Roar 2 is on here, which in my opinion was probably the best version of Bloody Roar and probably the definitive version for that era and that time. I would probably say Extreme is really the one to play right now if you're still interested in Bloody Roar. But for the time and era, Bloody Roar 2 was definitely that game. So, and I remember 3 coming out and being a big disappointment, and Primal Fury and Extreme coming out and kind of fixing a lot of the issues with 3, and it kind of rising back to prominence. But anyway, long story short,
Bloody Roar 2.
it's on this cabinet. It runs great. And the cool thing is being able to play all of these console games with arcade controls. A lot of these games were arcade games anyway. Bloody Roar 1 and 2 was. And that's just really, really nice to be able to do that. But the game runs real smooth as I remember it. 60 frames a second. I remember when this game came out, it was really, really impressive for PlayStation 1 because graphically it was very impressive for that era. Had real 3D backgrounds, detailed characters. The game is just a treat, man. I'm still a fan of it. Like, I'm a big Bloody Roar fan, as you guys probably know. And hey man, this is just a phenomenal game. Definitely check out Bloody Roar if you can. And it's like a great addition to this cabinet. So definitely check out Bloody Roar. Very, very big addition to this cabinet. That pretty much does it. It looks like they added also a few 2D fighters, such as X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. But to be honest, like, you don't want to play the PlayStation versions of those games anyway. Those games on PlayStation were a waste of time. You have the actual arcade ROMs and ports of those games on here. So play those if you want to play X-Men versus Street Fighter. Pretty much. All right, guys, that pretty much does it for this update. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have some more upgrades and around the cabinet and some more videos about the cabinet and show you guys some more games that are favorites of mine. Show you some light gun games, some 4-player games. And I'm going to get to that real soon. But in the meantime, 3x to the Lex out. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.